r/ask Reddit. What was banned at your school and why? The word buckle, I kid you not. Back in grade 7 a few kids in one class had this word on a spelling test and thought it would be funny to just shout it out randomly. The teachers, believing it to be a code word for something more sinister, decided to outright ban the word across the school. Needless to say, the faculty became the brunt of many jokes both from students and their parents. That reminds me of the episode of Recess where the school banned TJ from saying humps. Two-way hallways. Sounds crazy, right? The principal and his staff thought that it'd be a smart idea to have one-way hallways in order to cut down student traffic. If your locker was right around the corner, and you had to go against the traffic in order to get there, you had to walk all the way around. If you passed your class on the way to your locker, you had to make 2 circles around the building. This significantly increased tardiness and write-ups. Terrible idea. Oh wow, I thought my school was the only one to try this. I believe the head teacher called it Monopoly corridors because you could only go one way round. We had no time between classes, and some classes were in different buildings on different sides of the school with a one-way entrance and exits to get back to the main building. There were times where we'd have to walk around the outside of the school passing our next classroom's window, then re-enter the main building and have to walk the opposite way around the interior just to get to the next lesson. It made a 2-3 minute walk turn into 5-10 minutes depending on congestion. When I was in high school we got permanent markers banned. Someone organized a game of assassins where everyone is given a target to kill and if you're successful you inherit their target. It was $1 to enter and the winner gets the jackpot. We had around 150 students out of the 600 in the school participating. The objective was to mark your target with a Sharpie on their skin and they were then declared dead. This could only be done in the hallway or the cafeteria, not in class or off campus. Well, our vice principal decided she wanted to participate, saying that if she won the money she'd use it to buy something for the school. Fair enough, we thought, so we let her in. Well, one of my friends ended up with her as a target, so in between classes one day he sneaks up behind her and does his best Sam Fisher assassination attempt, grabbing her mouth and slashing her throat with the Sharpie. Well, that was just too much emotional stress for our poor VP. She took his Sharpie, had him serve ISS and forced us to discontinue the game. No more Sharpies could be used by students or staff, and no one knows whatever became of the prize money either. We kept it in a jar in our principal's office so no one could take it, so we all hated our VP even more than we did before. You don't grab someone's mouth and expect them to be cool with it when they have to look like they're in charge. You can dislike this VP, but that guy took it too far. She was on your side. She requested to join in. Dark jeans. Their logic was that when we'd stand against white walls resting against them, the color of the jeans would rub off. I have never wanted to wear red or green jeans and then go and rub my butt all over a school's walls so badly before. Google. Our high school had some kind of contract with this really shitty school appropriate search engine called NetTracker. They banned using Google in school because it wasn't scholarly. Only NetTracker was allowed. They tried extending this to beyond the school. They wanted us to use only NetTracker for internet searches outside school and send home a pamphlet about internet rules outside the classroom. They said that students shouldn't have Android phones. I got a referral for having a Moto X smartphone. This was in 2015. Blankets. It was the South and they keep the AC on too high because it's so freaking hot outside. Girls would wear shorts to be cool when outside, but they'd get too cold inside. Thus, the blankets to keep their legs warm in class. Of course, blankets are opaque, and they were already being used to cover up legs. Well, if a girl started sharing a blanket with a guy, yeah, things could get a little handsy. Brass instruments were banned in my school. Too long didn't read. Stoners outsmart administration. Drug dogs. They started bringing in drug dogs in my sophomore year. They would smell the lockers and cars, and if one hit on your locker or car you had to go open them up and let the school search it. By my junior year a group of stoners had enough of it. They took bong water and put it in a bunch of spray bottles and sprayed it on all the lockers and cars they could. My school had about 1,400 kids in it. It took one time of having 300 plus kids pulled out of class to have the lockers searched to make them rethink the policy. What really got the parents to force the school to stop though was the cars. When drug dogs hit on a spot they kind of go nuts. Imagine 25 plus cars getting a hit and having dogs scratch the hell out of the paint for a search that found nothing. Many parents didn't push too hard but some were demanding that the school pay for the damage. So no more drug dogs. Well played by the stoners. Aerosol cans because we would put them in the toilet, set them on fire and blow the toilet up. We were banned from the gym at lunch, used to go in the gym, shoot hoops, etc. Eventually we were playing dodgeball with basketballs. Errant throw broke the fire alarm and set it off for the whole school. We had to stay in the cafeteria after that. Why the hell would there be a fire alarm that could be set off by having a bull hit it in a gym? Of course they wouldn't put a protective case around it that costs maybe 20 bucks. It's cheaper to just not let anyone use the gym that costs thousands and thousands of dollars. It wasn't so much being hit, but hit so hard the cover and the alarm itself shattered to pieces. Earrings on guys. This turned into a huge thing with students doing walkouts and yelling at teachers. It really was a stupid rule and as far as I know was ultimately dropped. My school just banned all jewelry except watches unless it was a small retaining stud in the ear. Niqab, hijab, burqa, Christian cross, kippah or any religious sign. Because in France, school is a religion-free zone. We learn science and knowledge. The rest must stay at the door. Although I do not wear any religious symbols myself, I am completely against this. My school would report you to the police if you were caught watching Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life. Happened twice in the year it was big. Have no idea why but they just didn't like it. The Captain Underpants series. In elementary school, I begged my dad for some money for the book fair. He likes the idea of me reading, and gave me some bills on the condition I buy books and not the toys, posters, etc. Found at book fairs I came home with a handful of comics and graphic novels. I remember Captain Underpants being one. He scolded me, saying that money was explicitly to be used on books. I was grounded and he took them away and I cried in my room while grounded. He leafed through them and saw the literary value. He also started to see it was just presented in a more digestible form for children. He came in, apologized, took me out for ice cream, and asked me to read them to him. I love my dad. Dude, that's awesome. Glad to know he is humble enough to admit he was wrong. Cafeteria trays. The events that led to this started with a fight breaking out in the cafeteria where one person stabbed the other with a fork. The next day metal forks had been banned and we were only given plastic sporks to eat with. A couple of weeks later another fight broke out in the cafeteria and a group of 3 students beat another student using the cafeteria trays. After that we had styrofoam trays in the cafeteria. Shoulder knocked someone out with a textbook. After someone put Halo C on the network drive, and it started to rival Microsoft Word for most used software in the building. They had to ban that. Unfortunately, the person responsible for making the announcement had the computer literacy of a mountain goat. So the official rule was something like don't be downloading Halo websites on the computers. At my school someone did this and hid Halo CE in the special education folder. Nobody checked it because my school's special education program is notorious for having no oversight whatsoever. Hair color, colored bras, men with long hair, and nail polish. One of my 8th grade teachers was a particularly uppity Mormon woman who was obsessed with rules and modesty. She hated me for a variety of reasons, and then had my sister in her classes the next 2 years and was constantly getting on her case for breaking obscure uniform rules. The most entertaining of these infractions had to do with my sister's bra. The uniform rules said that visible undergarments had to be white. So first it was that my sister was wearing a colored bra that was visible under her white shirt. Then, when my sister went out and bought a white bra, it was that you could still see it through her shirt. Nude bra, it was that you could still see the outline. Then, when my sister had given up and started wearing only navy shirts, the teacher complained that she could still see the outline of my sister's bra through the shirt. After that, I think my mom went in and asked the teacher why she was so obsessed with my, then 12-year-old, sister's bra, which I think shut her up. That teacher still gets made fun of in my family sometimes. Why Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, and Pokemon cards. Some of the kids at school started trading and selling them during lunchtime, but it got so bad as the kids were actually selling stolen cards they got from other students. My friend was swirlied one morning for his deck, and later that day he saw a kid with his Dark Magician card. He knew it was his because he had a tendency to chew the ends of his cards. The teachers put a stop to all of it, including playing the card games and bringing them on school grounds. Selling candy. Kids would spend their lunch money on gum candy at Bulk Barn and wood pieces for 25c each. People at my school did this. The school banned it and it became like a black market. They would go to a corner shop and buy a shitload of soda, candy and that sort of thing and sell bags of it. Sweaters with zippers. A new progressive principal found a correlation between those dang hoodlums and zippered sweaters. Obviously everyone thought she was insane, so we all put tape over our zippers. Took a week to get back to normal. Candy canes. Apparently, they were a safety hazard because you could suck on them and sharpen them into a point, which could then theoretically be used to stab somebody. Most of our school suspected that it was simply a way of getting the Ugly Christmas Sweater Club, a group of guys who wore ugly sweaters to school and roamed the hallways handing out candy canes while playing Christmas music, in trouble. It was by far the dumbest thing to ever happen at my high school. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.